Michael Jordan has 6 rings. He's 6-0 in the finals and never lost. He's the GOAT. Well, today, I'm going to prove to you why the 6-ring debate is nothing more than a product of systematic cohesiveness from top to bottom, starting with Jerry Krause.
Jerry Krause, the Bulls general manager, says, quote, organizations win titles, not players.
Players and coaches alone don't win championships, that organizations do. I do sincerely believe that organizations as a whole win. One part of it can't win alone.
One of the first strategic moves he did was get Doug Collins' ass up out of there and hire Phil Jackson, as well as the late, great Tex Winners, who introduced the triangle offense to Phil Jackson. Then he went on to draft Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant. He traded for Bill Cartwright, and John Paxson he signed. Scottie Pippen, who we all know has his own 6 rings, and said he would have got 6 regardless. Nigga was tripping.
So Michael and the team, they pick up Kenny Smith. Obviously, it's not up to him.
That's correct, GBD. I wonder who it was up to.
And how many championships does Michael win without you going there?
I still get my 6.
Nigga definitely tripping. But need I digress. Horace Grant, who left in free agency, went on to help the Magic to a franchise record of 57-25. Bill Cartwright, a former top 3 pick, averaged 18 before he arrived to Chicago and was an anchor on the defense in 5 of the 6 championships.
San Francisco, 7-1, Bill Cartwright.
Bill Cartwright has proven to be the major surprise here in Chicago.
You needed the big man. You needed the center. Bill Cartwright filled that role.
I'm pretty much a no-nonsense kind of guy.
Bill does. Gets it to Michael.
I knew my role. My role is the guard, and just to be able to rock and roll from there.
Explosion. The final piece of the Bulls championship was Bill Cartwright, and it was not a very popular trade at the time.
I wonder who was against the trade and who called it actually was.
Charles Oakley was Michael's closest friend on the team, but more than that, he was his protector.
We were up against some teams that were very physical. The Detroit Bad Boys were our nemesis, and Bill fit the bill. He was the enforcer, and he took care of the back of the lane. He was the one guy that stood up and played hard against them.
Third foul called on Bill Cartwright. Cartwright just slammed his hand.
John Paxson went on to shoot his highest percentage ever in the year 92, 46.3% from the 3. And if you know the triangle offense, you most definitely need shooters.
He has been unconscious. Championship. The Lakers desperately trying to bring it back to Chicago for a Game 6. Paxson, yes! John Paxson again! And the Bulls lead 105-101. Lakers, incidentally, Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
After the Bulls' first three-peat, MJ would retire due to gambling allegations. And I'm just playing, Mike. Or am I? In 94 and 95, the Houston Rockets went back-to-back championships. And this is not by chance. They were a well-put-together team with 2 superstars, an excellent coach, and GM Robert Wienhauer, who had Chuck Daly as his mentor. The legendary Chuck Daly, who led the Detroit Pistons to back-to-back championships. In 1993, Jerry Krause got back to work. He drafted Tony Kukoc, one of the top 3 European players in the world.
I can't see with him, but just Kukoc gets the basket and the foul. Kukoc rounds Demmer as if he's not there and gets Kukoc somehow. Unbelievable talent.
Look at that, he jumps in the air and throws a bounce pass.
Yugoslavia have got a chance for it. Kukoc will take it.
Here he is, way behind the three-point line. Clock's running down.
Kukoc, elementary.
Pass came, and here he goes, 2 meters and 9.
In 1993, he also rescued Steve Kerr from purgatory, expressing his perfect fit for the triangle offense.
Bulls have it with 28 seconds left.
the final seconds with the score tied and the game on the line, this classic series would hinge on one dramatic play.
Be a scoop if anybody but Michael Jordan takes this shot. It is Michael Jordan time. Scottie Pippen looking for Michael Jordan.
Michael, 6 seconds, 5. Michael in traffic to Curl, 15-footers.
Very good jumper.
Revitalizing his career after he had struggled in Cleveland and Orlando. In 1994, he signed a 20-point-per-game unrestricted free agent in Ron Harper. In 1995, the Chicago Bulls acquired Dennis Rodman from the San Antonio Spurs, a move deemed risky at the time. And in 1996, acquiring John Sally, both former bad boys, drafted and developed under Chuck Davis. 6 rings or systematic rings? But today, I'm going to prove to you why the 6-ring debate is nothing more than a product of systematic cohesiveness from top to bottom, starting with management. The very following year, legendary systematic coach Greg Popovich won his first championship with the help of assistant GM R.C. Buford, who later was promoted to head GM, taking over for none other than Greg Popovich. But what do the Spurs have to do with the Bulls and their 6 rings? Well, wait, this is where it gets very interesting. After leaving the Bulls, Steve Kerr was acquired not once, but twice by R.C. Buford, where he would go on to win 2 more rings with the Spurs.
Duncan hands to Ginobili. Inside Duncan, out to Parker for 3.
A lot of these players are role players that probably wouldn't even play at other places.
5 rings or systematic rings? In June of 1999, legendary GM Jerry West hires none other than Phil Jackson. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. So what does Phil Jackson do? He implements the same successful system that he won with the Chicago Bulls, even bringing over Tex Winters and John Sally. And Dennis Rodman, but they got his crazy ass up out of there.
When the regular season started, the Lakers took a leap of faith together and immediately began to fly.
Back gets it back, comes in deep, bounce under the Shaq. Beautiful play. What you have seen here tonight is a different-looking Lakers team, and you see the impact of Phil Jackson.
That's the attitude. You have to share the ball. And in sharing the ball, we get layups. We get easy shots.
Veteran players with championship-level experience were added to help carry the message from the coaches to the court.
It's about transferring. It's about building that next generation. They have to learn and have to be able to grow, but they have to have somebody to teach them.
Another key ingredient were the talented Laker holdovers who were asked to sacrifice playing time in exchange for the promise of a championship.
You look at Derek Fisher, you look at Robert Horry, myself, the three of us were starters on a 62-win team. 2 years later, we're the backbone of the bench. You accept the fact that if your career is going to be about being the best team out there, then there's going to be some guys that are going to have to take lesser roles.
The pivotal role belonged to Shaquille O'Neal. Finally, in a system where he was asked to focus on making his teammates better, Shaq discovered leadership skills that made him better than ever. When Kobe returned from injury, the Lakers' 21-year-old star also seemed more mature, instantly adapting to the new team-first approach.
One of the first things Phil said was, it's not how hard you play, because you can play with all the heart you want, but it's how smart you play.
It was vintage Laker basketball, as Kobe and Shaq came together like magic. Shaq dubbed them the combo.
Starting to see a pattern. 3 rings or systematic rings. Just to further prove my point, here's the 2004 champion ending the Lakers' run and ultimately splitting up Shaq and Kobe.
Terrible feeling for a Detroit team that was the #1 seed. They won 50 games for the second year in a row.
For the Detroit Pistons, the 2003 season had come to a bitter end. After reaching the Eastern Conference Finals, they were swept by the New Jersey Nets. After years of frustration, the Pistons realized that a change was needed and that it would have to start at the top.
I knew that we need a coach who's going to be a perfectionist, who's going to be on the guys, who's going to push, but do it with a certain level of humanity.
I think I can make a difference in terms of teaching them how to play and the right way to play. And I'm hopeful that this franchise is going to play at a high level for a long time. That's my challenge.
Larry Brown was now coaching his 7th NBA team, and the Pistons that he inherited possessed a solid core of players, including Chauncey Billups and Richard Hamilton, the team's talented backcourt, and the player who had become the heart and soul of the Pistons, Ben Wallace, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
LeBron James inside for Ilgauskas, blocked by Ben. Ahead to Chauncey, stop and go on Davis, great little reverse. Eric Snow, left wings to Derek Coleman, baseline drive, Ben blocks the shot. Wing, popping into a turnover, Ben blocked it again.
As Detroit opened training camp, Brown began to assess the other pieces of the puzzle, deciding how they would fit into his vision of a winner. The roster featured a blend of ingredients, including the potential of young Tayshaun Prince, the experience of former 6th Man of the Year Corliss Williamson, and the inside presence of Mehmet Okur. But Detroit had also added savvy veterans like Lindsey Hunter, returning to the place where his career began, plus center Eldon Campbell and explosive forward Darvin Ham.
Duncan Darvin does it again.
You know, Coach Brown drilled us. Hey, this is the way we're going to play, and I don't care what you think, and I don't care what you say. You're going to play this way. It's my way.
For the first 2 months of the season, the Pistons would struggle to hit their stride.
Goes out of bounds, so a flat start for the Pistons.
But you bring in a whole different staff. There's a transition period, and unfortunately, you have to have that transition period during the season. And after the first 29 games this year, we were 16-13.
A layup. You don't see many layups on a Larry Brown team.
It was tough, you know, not just for him, but for the players too. So it took us a while, you know, for us to get used to him and him to get used to us.
But gradually, the Pistons began to adapt to Brown's system and became the kind of team he had envisioned.
They're sharing the ball and trusting each other. Knocked it away, Wallace with a steal. Alley-oop.
Sharing the ball and the spotlight, the Pistons were forging a growing sense of chemistry, and soon they would reel off an impressive string of victories.
The Pistons are starting to play the way Larry wants them to play.
Rick, no looks, touch feed to Wallace.
Skeet is out there, and there's Darko with the steal.
And he makes a nice feed to James, to Darvin Ham. How about these Pistons?
What a finish! Hamilton and Ginobili. Back up to Chauncey. Leaves. Chauncey! This is ridiculous! The Detroit Pistons have tied the franchise record with a lucky 13. Tying the record of the championship team of 14 years ago.
But as the calendar turned to February, the red-hot Pistons were suddenly gripped by a midwinter chill. The euphoria of winning had given way to a frustrating losing streak, and it became clear that something was still missing.
Nothing working right now for the Pistons.
The Pistons drop their 6th in a row.
They still don't have that one great player.
Joe Dumars would address the team's glaring need by trading for Rasheed Wallace, a talented player with a turbulent past.
Whatever I could bring to the table to help us make that gallop for that title cup, you know, that's what I'm gonna do.
His credit, he came into here just trying to fit in, and he fit in the first minute he stepped in that locker room.
Welcome, boy, welcome.
The only problem with Rasheed Wallace is maybe he cares too much, and I don't look at that as a negative.
What a play! Rasheed Wallace!
He was the missing piece. He made everybody on the team better.
Getting him solidified us having a title run. I mean, the guy was an all-star. The guy can score inside, outside. The guy's a great defender, and I don't think we didn't even know how good of a defender he was until he got here.
A three-point shot by Rasheed Wallace.
I just thought he was a perfect fit. I thought he embodied what we wanted to be here. Here's a guy that wants to win. Here's a guy that's dedicated. He's unselfish. He's a great teammate. I just thought that, you know what, that guy's a Detroit Piston.
Van der Rip, 4-on-1, alley-oop to Rasheed for a slam.
And after a week or two maybe, Rasheed seemed to be comfortable in this system. And then the Pistons just started to roll.
Rasheed with a steal and the feed. Rip with a stub. Make it 21-9.
Rebuke and denied. What a stop that was by Detroit.
Get it out of here.
Nice cut inside by Anderson. Shot rejected by Ben. Saved by Lindsay. Ahead to Rip. Behind him to Ben for the jam.
We went on an 8-game win streak where we held teams, below 70 points, I think 5 or 6 of the games. I think that's when people started really believing around here that we have a chance to win this thing.
The Pistons will do it again. They're going to do it again. 5 in a row. An NBA record has been added to this afternoon. Another team fails to score 70.
Larry Brown also took AI in the 2001 76ers to the NBA Finals against Phil Jackson Lakers. Now let's connect some dots. Two mentees of Hall of Fame coach Larry Brown are none other than former Spurs GM R.C. Buford and former head coach Greg Popovich. The same Greg Popovich who 2005 Spurs will go on to ruin his mentor's chances of back-to-back championships with the Pistons. Superman in the Flash. 2006, Shaq will get his 4th championship teaming up with Dwayne Wade. But wait, let's connect some more dots. Who is that in the middle of D. Wade and Shaquille O'Neal? Hall of Fame coach and GM Pat Riley. The same Pat Riley who got his first coaching start by his mentor and friend, Jerry West, thus beginning the Showtime era where he would go on to win 4 championships.
The Lakers attacked their opponents in waves, bringing a new excitement to the league.
We didn't care who we were playing. We didn't care how many points we were down. Our whole goal was to run you into the ground.
Nixon in the front court, 3-on-3. Left side to Magic. Magic all the way. Spin it over to him.
With Magic at the controls, the Lakers' fast break style became known as Showtime.
Showtime was coming down on a fast break, looking left and throwing right.
Showtime. did he send?
Jones wanted it, but Magic wants it more. Dribble behind the back. Oh, what a play! Slam dunk! But the success of Showtime was much more than Magic Johnson. Over the years, the Lakers would be loaded with players who fit perfectly into their fast break system. Michael Cooper, Norm Nixon, and Jamal Wilkes.
4 rings or systematic rings?
Byron Scott, and the game's ultimate finisher, James Worthy.
So GM Jerry West hires Phil Jackson as well as Pat Riley. And why is this important? We would see 3 teams dominate the next 7 years. Coach Pop and his system won in 2007 and 2014. The Los Angeles Lakers under Phil Jackson had 3 consecutive trips to the NBA Finals, winning back-to-back in 2009 and 2010. If you had any doubt up until this point, if systems worked, just look at the Miami Heat, who went on to 3 consecutive NBA Finals before the departure of LeBron James.
Eric Spoelstra is one of the hardest working coaches in NBA history, and he spent an entire summer trying to perfect Miami's half-court offense. Spo introduced a spread offense he saw in football to give James the freedom to operate one-on-one with shooters to spread the floor. Bosh was moved to the center position, and Wade accepted the role of a second option. It's common in today's NBA to play small ball without a traditional center, and with 5 players who can shoot and dribble. But in 2012, this was revolutionary. Even though Mike D'Antoni was the first coach to implement this system, the Heat finished the 2012 regular season as the 2nd seed, with LeBron as the league MVP. Miami dismantled the New York Knicks in the first round, but the first game of the second round was believed to be a disaster. Chris Bosh got injured and was expected to miss the next 3 weeks. After he went down, Indiana won the next 2 games, and it seemed like Miami could flunk out even sooner than they did last year. But LeBron and D-Wade were like 2 hungry lions, fighting for their lives against a pack of hyenas. In Game 4, the 2 stars combined for 70 points, and they absolutely trashed Indiana for the rest of the way, winning every game of the series. Bosh's injury proved to be a blessing in disguise, because without him in the lineup, the Heat fully embraced the small ball lineups. When Bosh returned from injury, he was exclusively playing the center position, which opened a ton of space for LeBron and Wade. However, the conference finals against the feisty Celtics proved to be the most dramatic series of them all. Miami took a 2-0 lead, but Boston showed incredible resiliency, always edging out Miami in the clutch, winning the next 3 games. Before Game 6 in Boston, LeBron and Miami stared into the abyss of another playoff loss and another bitter pill to swallow. But the King wasn't going to let that happen. LeBron played like a man possessed, scoring 30 points in the first half on 12 of 14 shooting. In the second half, as soon as the Celtics made some kind of a run, LeBron was there to bail the Heat out. James's haters hoped to see another painful playoff exit, but they saw a complete obliteration of the Celtics with 4 future Hall of Famers. The King finished with 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists on 73% shooting. If the game wasn't a blowout and he played the entire fourth quarter, LeBron would have probably finished with 50 points and 20 rebounds. In Game 7, LeBron had a 30-point triple-double, and the Heat finished off the Celtics, making another NBA Finals. Against OKC, the series once again started off on the wrong foot, as Kevin Durant convincingly won Game 1 for the Thunder. But for the rest of the series, LeBron and the Heat proved that they were the best team of the season. Miami won the next 4 games, and James was finally a champion and the Finals MVP. We saw some laughter and some tears on LeBron's face, but most of all, we saw a big sigh of relief as he finally captured the only trophy he's been missing his whole career. In 2013, the Heat doubled down on shooting and small ball, adding Rashard Lewis and Ray Allen. Miami was now a well-oiled machine, and we could see how their newfound chemistry impacted the game. In the 3rd year of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, we saw a complete understanding of players' roles and spots where they operate on the floor. The Heat did everything at full speed, a gear teams only reach when greatness meets confidence and familiarity. Miami found the right mix of shooting and defense around the 3 stars, and their season was a blur of touch passes, lob dunks, and open threes. Miami topped the league in points per possession and made one of the biggest year-to-year leaps in scoring efficiency, with a 56% increase in made threes from the year before. On February 1st, the Heat lost to the Pacers 102-89, but they didn't lose again until March 27th, a run of 27 straight victories that ranks as the second longest in NBA history. Miami finished that season with 66 wins. LeBron won his 4th MVP title, and this Heat squad has to be considered one of the best regular season teams of all time. The Heat then blitzed through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and had lost just 3 out of 48 games entering the conference finals against Indiana. But the Pacers proved to be one tough nut to crack. It looked like the Heat would lose Game 1 until LeBron made a game-winning layup at the buzzer, but the Pacers bounced back, and after 6 games, the series was tied. However, in Game 7, the Pacers' shooting finally gave out, and Miami finally prevailed behind LeBron's 32 points. In the finals against the Spurs, the Heat ran into the team that had just as much talent as they did. Tim Duncan was still Tim Duncan. Parker was one of 2 best NBA point guards at the time. Manu was still genius as a 6th man. And they also had the emerging Kawhi Leonard, who was the best perimeter defender LeBron ever faced. It didn't look good for the Heat. Down 3-2 in the series, Miami was trailing by 5 with 28 seconds remaining. But after a made 3 from LeBron and missed free throw from Kawhi, the Heat had a chance to tie the game. And what happened next was one of the most exhilarating sequences in NBA history.
James catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer. Bang! Tie game!
Miami won the game in overtime, forced Game 7, which was another spectacularly close game. But LeBron once again proved his clutch gene, hitting a tie-clinching shot over Kawhi Leonard and proving that the 2011 Finals was a fluke. It was harder than expected, but Miami won back-to-back titles.
And who put that Heat team together, as well as handpicked head coach Eric Spoelstra? None other than Pat Riley. Now let's talk Bob Myers and Steve Kerr. As GM and head coach, they were going to win 4 championships, creating the dynasty in Golden State.
How much did it mean to you to see Phil Jackson flash up on the Jumbotron?
That was pretty cool. Phil, one of my mentors, the basketball education and coaching education I received from him and Tex Winter, I think about them literally every day. We do drill work and practice that we've been doing for 11 years that goes straight back to my days in Chicago. Our offense, a lot of it is based on the triangle. Watching Phil over the years, handle players and the relationships he built with them, pretty special to see him, offer those congratulations.
Now we welcome in NBA analyst Bob Myers. Bob, the GM of the Warriors, of course, from 2012 to 23. Jerry West worked as a consultant for the Warriors from 2011 to 2017. Bob, it's someone you know intimately well. What kind of impact did he have on your life and career?
He was, in my eyes, great beyond his career as a basketball player. He was a friend. We spent so much time together, and I'm so thankful and blessed for that. And there's just not a lot of people in life that, one, are willing to help someone grow and learn like he did.
6 rings or systematic rings. As you can see, the connection between the coaches, the GM, the amount of talent, the players approach that wins these championships. Currently, there's no better example than the Oklahoma
Thunder's
City
trying to do what you guys did. Win a title with young core, promising future, and then you guys built on it, multiple championships, decade-long contention. Besides having just great players, what's the key to making sure that what you guys got done got done?
You have to like each other, which you can tell they love each other, which leads to all the magic. And you have to understand roles, which they definitely understand their roles. They got their top dog, they got their number two. Everybody come in, they know their role. From Shea, no disrespect, tonight was the first time I seen 23. To Brooks, everyone knows their role, and that's the way it has to be in order to win in this league. And they're doing that, man. They are a well-oiled machine. They kind of just plug and play, which is, how we were during those times. So it was very interesting to watch. But when you have a leader that has that commitment to excellence day in and day out that Shea does, everyone else has to fall in line, and they're doing that, and it's special to watch.
Man, for any questions I've had about how exceptional he is as an executive, I'm dead serious. I don't apologize often.
Yeah,
but Sam Presti on national television, I'm going to say this. I, Stephen A. Smith, owe this man an apology. I don't give a damn about the championships right now. I can't when I'm a Knicks fan. I can tell you this. To have 15 picks, to have that roster, to have them this young, playing at this level, this man is a special executive. And you won't hear any questions about him from me again.
Well, then you should treat me better. If that's how you feel about Presti.
That's GM Sam Presti of the OKC Thunder. I wonder where he got his knowledge and inspiration from to create such a great organization from top to bottom.
With gratitude to be with everybody here tonight. And thank you, Clay, for those incredibly kind words. Clay Bennett, R.C. Buford, Greg Popovich. These guys took really big chances on me when I was very young. And as a result, they've each changed the path of my life.
6 rings or systematic
Players and coaches alone
rings?
don't win championships that organizations do. I do sincerely believe that organizations as a whole win. One part of it can't win alone.
Michael Jordan lost his first 6 years. You can't tell me Michael Jordan was not as good the year before that he was the 7th year. No way you can tell me that. What was the difference? He was put in a system. You know what was hard for Mike before the system, and what sometimes was hard for our teachers? When somebody doesn't give you the system and tell you about the system every day, you have to start thinking on your own. You gotta start thinking on your own. And now you gotta start just making up stuff. So Mike was scoring a bunch of points. Mike scored 60-something points against the Boston Celtics and still lost.
Who matters more, superstar player or elite system? I'm gonna say elite system. Teams who win more than one championship and can do it back to back have great systems. When I think about those Spurs teams, when I think about those Phil Jackson's teams, when he implemented them systems, that's when those players start winning. I think John Solly said this. He said if LeBron James was under the system, he would win more championships.
That LeBron would have more championships if he had a system.
Winning takes a system on and off the court. Yes, you can have some good years. Yes, you can have some lucky years here and there. But for the most part, what keeps things flowing is a system. You got to have a strong system to win. That's not only on the court, but that's off the court as well.
You know, I look at LeBron and what he's done is mind-blowing with what he's had to work with. He's taken every rookie coach he's had to the NBA Finals. So from an educational standpoint and a knowledge base, where did this brain come from? I mean, he's the Einstein of basketball. Mm-hmm. Because when you look at myself, you look at a Jordan, you look at a Shaq, you know, we had Hall of Fame coaches. That came from somewhere. I look at LeBron James and I go, where'd he get all this? Because he can look at your coach figure out your defensive scheme. He can look at your substitution pattern. He can read the stat sheet, and then he can, not only read it, but he can dissect it. Then he can come back and put together a game plan, and then he can go out and implement it. And you just don't walk in from high school with no institutional knowledge and dominate a sport for the years that he's dominated. So when you talk about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, I look at from the neck up, not necessarily from the neck down.
So are you saying LeBron is better than Michael Jordan?
I would pick LeBron James.
You would?
Yeah. If I'm trying to build a team, if I'm trying to build a team, I'm going with the brain.
You got to understand, Isaiah Thomas was my introduction to basketball. This was my dad's favorite player. And I'm a Michigan guy. So you can understand the disdain I had for the Bulls. But I had to recognize the greatness of MJ. And I recognized I had all the movies. Come Fly With Me, MJ Playground, Learning to Fly, Airtime, Above and Beyond, His Airness, Jordan to the Max. I had them all. LeBron was a year younger, named James. We even favored. I hated this nigga. But I witnessed. We all witnessed.
A 7-footer, and he knocked it down. James is 3 for 3.
There's just a glimpse of what kind of court presence, the way he could pass the ball. He did a little a-la Magic.
Here he comes the other way. There's your first James jam of his career.
Whoa. This was the exact moment I stopped hating. I said, oh, he's special. He's something different.
Stand up and light a match? This is getting out of control.
Michael Jordan's number 23 says that's the inspiration for the number 23's Matt Jordan's first game in the NBA. He's just surpassed it.
He's much better than I thought he was going to be, and I'm going to tell all the NBA players right now.
While rings are significant, let's judge them in totality from beginning to the end.
LeBron James, a shot at history.
He's simply the chosen one.
LeBron stands alone. The NBA's all-time scoring record now belongs to LeBron James.
Young is the life. Once again, it's the life. Yes. I don't know why. It's so intoxicating, man. You don't know why you do what you do.